Live from his apartment, it's the Serg Podcast, starring Sergio Santana.
I don't wanna hurt nobody, I just came to vibe. Tonight we ain't with no drama, tell them take it outside.
With tonight's guests,
Shorty and her friends been looking for a while, tell them come and vibe.
now here's your host,
Disappear for a little fun to push the high. Forget the problems, man.
Santana.
First guest tonight is comedian Rachel Fogletto. Let's make some noise for her.
Hi.
For my listeners, viewers, can you give us like a little brief background about yourself? I mean, I know you, but like brief. Yeah.
What can I say? Stand-up comedian. I guess I can say that again.
Yeah.
Now there's a little COVID break. I mean, I've been sitting down and doing it in my bedroom. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not good. I'm not good at those. Follow me on here at Rachel Fogletto. You'll see all the things that I do, mostly comedy.
So,
at least public.
how long have you been doing comedy?
So actually, I think September is actually like end of September is my 8-year anniversary. But like everybody, it feels weird to even count it because I feel like the past 6 months have just been like, so many things have just been postponed till next year. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, you do those really dope Zoom shows. Like, I think it's so hard. Like, I personally can't. I don't have the interest in performing on a Zoom show. To be honest with you, I tried like twice. I'm like, nah. But
I respect that. I don't have any opinion about people who don't want to do Zoom because I get it in my heart. I don't want to do Zoom. I'm doing the Zoom show as much as it makes sense because it's something we have to me, I'm like, I have to do something, but I totally understand people that, comics that just didn't really want to take, have any part of it.
Yeah. And I think that's the same thing. Like you said, I have to do something. That's why I started doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, it's crazy because I started writing monologues, which I never really wrote topical humor. It was always something personal. And I have a teleprompter and everything. So I'm like, it's just totally crazy. Like I'm doing like other stuff now that I wasn't planning.
That's cool though. I think it's made a lot of us have to do something.
Yeah.
That I wrote like a short script that I don't think will go anywhere, but I was like, I had the chance to, and I was like, fuck it, why not? Like, am I allowed to curse?
Of course you could.
I don't know. Like, as I said it, I was like, I guess I should ask that.
Everyone does that. At first I was like, yeah, let's make it PG-13, but I'm like, I'm on the internet. What does it matter? Like, who?
Yeah, I don't know who your audience. I
don't know. I
don't recommend people book me on things that children are watching, but I mean, I guess I should ask. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that I don't know. I think that it doesn't matter anymore. I think the kids, like, we have like WAP out right now, so I think kids are desensitized at this point.
But people are hypocrites though about that stuff. They always have been because there's like because it's like controversial or whatever that like people got mad about WAP, like it was inappropriate, but like songs like that have been around like forever, and I feel like when we were kids, like a lot of it just went over my head. Like I look back on songs that I would like and I'm like, I did not know what that meant.
Yeah, we're kids. How would we know? Like and
even if you knew, you still didn't really get it. Like you knew what it meant, but you didn't like really get it.
Yeah.
You know?
I love Doggy Style. I mean, listen to it all the time. And you think about how like nasty the whole album probably really, I mean, it really was. It wasn't like it was clean.
But I think like even because somebody would always tell you what it meant, but then even then you knew it had to do with sex, but you still didn't really get it unless you were fucking when you were like 9, which I know some people,
Yeah.
I'm not saying I know that does happen, but I think a lot, like I think unless that's the case, like you knew it means something to do with sex or how to have sex, but you don't really understand it,
I think the video's fire, so I don't really care,
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. I tried to learn how to do the WAP challenge, and I pulled a muscle.
I saw that actually. I was like, Jesus, it was funny. You were going hard though. I mean,
it's a great exercise because I used to, like, a long time ago, I used to dance. That was like when I was like younger, like a kid to teenager, but I always missed doing it. And so like I've been getting it, like I'll go on TikTok, I'll be like, I'm gonna create content, and I just get sucked into watching dance videos. So it's made me want to, I was like, let me just try to learn some of these dances. And I knew it would be funny. Like, I know I'm not, it's like, I haven't really done it in yet. So I know it was meant to be funny, but still I'm like, but I still want to practice it enough that it doesn't look completely stupid. And I did it a bunch of times because like you have to watch yourself. And then the last one is when I just did that split too many times, and I was like, oh, I can't do this again. I'm just gonna have to go up the way it is.
You were nailing it though. I mean, but it was still.
I wasn't killing it. It needed to get it needed to get better. But once I did that, I was like, well, that's what it's gonna be.
Well, I mean, I hear what you're saying. It was just because I felt like you said, I felt like it was like you were getting the moves down, but it was still funny. Like that's what I'm getting at. Like it was like,
I know I'm in my, like, it's stupid. It's just a reason to put. And I think when you're a comic, that's the best thing, is that you can do something like that. And I'm like, it doesn't have to be really good because I'm not a dancer. That's not my online persona. So even if it's bad, it doesn't matter because I'm a comic. So it could be like, you
always say you're doing a parody of it. Like that was a parody. That was,
Or it's like I did it and it wasn't that great because I'm not So it's, I feel like the one, that's maybe one good thing when you're a comic is you can like, just be like, well, I know I don't know how to, I know I'm not great at this, but
I've been doing a lot of impressions lately too because of this. I have terrible impressions, I think, but I still have been pushing myself to do it because,
like, voice impressions or
all of it. I've been doing, costumes, wigs, everything, going all out.
I didn't know that. I've watched. If I have to watch it, I'm a listen. That's the thing, is I put podcasts on when I'm at work.
Yeah.
Do you listen to other people's podcasts?
I do.
You do? Is that, I can do it during work, but I have to be able to like put it on and do other things.
I feel like I don't really listen to them. I do watch them. Like I like trying to think, like the Flagrant 2 one, the Brilliant Idiots. That's with Andrew. What's the guy's name? Andrew.
I'm bad at
Andrew Schultz. Yeah, Andrew Schultz is super dope. I like him. And I am. I'm terrible with names too. I've been checking out everybody's podcast though, for the most part. I mean, some people, their podcast, it's like a lot of inside jokes, I think, if that makes sense.
It does. I don't even always listen to my own because I'll listen to 10 minutes of it, unless I know there's something that has to be edited. I'm like, I don't want to listen to it again.
Well, it's hard to listen or watch yourself. I can't listen and watch myself. So, I mean, I do it to edit it, but after that, I'm done with it. I move it on in life. But I hear what you're saying. And you have 2 podcasts, right? So that's dope. Like they've
been delayed a little bit, but actually this week, both of them, we both start. It's literally like just this exhausting time where everybody I know is really busy and exhausted, including myself. So it's like, but they are coming back.
So, I mean, you had the podcast before. I mean, a lot of people start podcasts because of the quarantine. I mean, it is cool that you're doing. I know you say you didn't like the Zoom shows either, but it's just cool that I feel like I said, I watched a lot of them, and you found some type of niche in it. Like you figured out how to like do it the way you have this rhythm to it. So I liked watching them because it kind of, I don't know how to explain it. I like the way you do it. Not everyone's doing it that way.
The Zoom shows?
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe I didn't see enough of them, like even breaking down the rules and everything. I'm like,
Oh, no, you're right. So, I mean, the thing with the Zoom shows is like from the beginning, and I'm thankful for the people who like invited me to do stuff on Zoom, but like from the beginning, it's like, I know there are podcasts I listen to where they talk about how they do it. And then there were ones I was on, and, like Kat Mosley immediately started doing that with Sucks, on Sunday. And so it's like, for each thing, everybody does them a little bit different, and everybody was sort of like figuring out what worked for them. So I feel like I didn't start doing the Zoom show until May. So I kind of saw what I liked that people were doing and what I didn't like. Like I knew I wanted to do it where people could laugh, because I'm like, I did a few that were just like used to, like, I think it's fine, like for this, I think it's fine. I think even like a mic situation, like it, you know, but when there's not people in the Zoom like reacting, it kind of it just feels like screaming into the void. And you know, not that I wouldn't do, you know, I'll do whatever at this, in this stage. It's like I every time I say it, I'm like, I'll still do it, like I'll still do your live stream show, you know. But you know, I prefer to hear a reaction when I'm trying to tell jokes.
Yeah.
So I wanted it to be a space where comics could like do a 10-minute set and actually just get feedback, you know. And you know, hopefully the audience wanted to laugh, whoever they may be, you know.
Yeah, it was dope. I mean, I like it. Like I'm glad like I've had a chance to see as many of them as I had, and it also made me feel like a little normal, because I felt like I was going to some type of comedy show at least still, and I felt that made sense.
That's what I want. That's really what I wanted to do as well. And I actually did some other Zoom event that wasn't a comedy event, but it was like a more variety kind of event. And I asked people to unmute because the person had everybody muted, because it wasn't really a comedy thing, but I asked people to unmute, and somebody messaged me like, oh, thank you for doing that. Like, hearing other people laugh, it actually kind of felt like I was like at a bar for a minute again. And I was like, okay, that feedback was helpful.
Well, it's funny because like I don't drink like that. I mean, I definitely like smoking. Like I like smoking weed. That's just what I do. Like, but every time your show came on, I went and bought something to drink, and I would drink.
Well, I mean, I don't want to like make people relapse or anything.
No,
It's
not like I'm relapsing. I'm just not a drinker. Like, you know what I mean? But it's because I'm chilling. Like, you know, like I feel like, and it was hard seltzer. Don't feel bad. Like, it wasn't like, you know, something like hard. Like, I'm not like throwing back whiskey or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, it was that vibe. It was cool, and that's why I liked it that you created that. And that's something that I think you have to learn and teach yourself too. Like you said, we're all figuring this out. We don't know what the hell's going on, and
I'm still learning. There's still something that every time I do it, I'm like, oh, that's okay. I guess that's the thing.
And so, like, you've done outside shows too. Like, I haven't done anything. And I did buy. It's funny because at the beginning of the pandemic, I bought like a PA system and stuff, and I have my own PA system. Not that I go anywhere with it and perform with it.
That's good though. I really should do that at this point.
I'll send you some links.
Yeah, thank you. I know it's like that thing I keep saying I should do it and then I don't, but it's like, honestly, even if a pandemic weren't happening, it's something I should just have a microphone.
Yeah. One thing, like I would say, like at least on my end, as far as like, because I'm doing the podcast, like the way I'm doing it, like I knew that I didn't want to do like a regular podcast either. So the stand-up part was the monologue, which I didn't plan. I think it just kind of happened over like episodes. Like I think I was like halfway through, but I like you were saying, like I don't have anyone there, so it was a big difference. So I was trying to get used to telling jokes with no laughter or looking at a crowd that's not there, and that was a lot for me. And at this point, like, I'm getting a little more used to it, but yeah, that's a whole nother skill set that, trust me, it's just weird. Telling jokes.
Well, I don't like it. I don't like the whole, well, even the times like I tried to do a promo live stream like the night before just to get, because I think that's the way you have to get in people's algorithms now, because it notifies people that you're doing it. And like I just invite any comic on the show to do it, and usually like 1 or 2 people will do it. And there's been a couple where nobody really wanted to, and I was like, I'll just do it myself. And then I'm like, oh, this sucks. I do not like live streaming myself. This is not, even when people are responding in comments, I'm like, I don't like this. This is weird. And then it's like I'm talking to myself, even though I'm talking to I'm like, I didn't like it.
No, I actually, I think that's what made me start watching your show too. I think you did one of those streams on Facebook, one of those live streams. But yeah, it's cool. That's smart, because you can like tease the show, and then you're like, hey, come to the real show. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It gets a little confusing because I think people are like, wait, is this the show? So I'm always like, no, it's more, it's like, you know, like a radio show. It's just when you promote an event, it just gets buried. Like Facebook it buries it.
Yeah.
So you got to do that. You got to go live.
Yeah. So now, like I said, you've done some outside shows. How big were the crowds? Like, because they're like, when it sells out, you can't have, I don't know how many people like you can really have.
Yeah, I mean, The only outside shows I've really done have been at Punchline, and they have it. I don't know the exact number. It's basically they have a. I know they have a couple different setups, but the ones I did were the patio, like on a patio, and they have. I don't know. I mean, they're selling out fast, and they're doing more shows because they can only have a limited amount of people. But it's nice. Like it's a nice setup. I will actually be there. I don't know when this will drop, but I'll be there the 17th through the 20th, hosting for Jared Freed, and I might not be saying his name the right way, but I will learn it.
You will.
Before I'm bad at names. Even names I know, I get paranoid. So my apologies if I said that wrong. But go to that because live comedy again. But it's cool. It's a nice setup, and I mean, it's like, it still feels like a show, and even with less people, it's like how many of us have done shows with like not a lot of people, but it's still good. You have like 10 or more people, you can do something, like that can be good.
Oh, they're more attentive, I think, sometimes. So
there's definitely more than 10. I'm just giving like a low example of like a small crowd I've done where it was still fun.
Yeah, I agree, and that's how you. They're the ones that appreciate the most, actually, when you have smaller crowds. So I feel like you give your all, and right now that's
intimate.
More intimate. Yeah, I like that. It's an intimate setting. So especially like I see like the some of the like photos from like New York, and like people are doing like speakeasy comedy shows on rooftops, which are pretty dope. Just alone. And it is weird that I don't understand rules anymore, how many people you can have and why, and I don't understand any of this anymore, but it doesn't matter.
I mean, I think it's literally based on the CDC. So like whatever the CDC says, that's what venues have to follow. So it's like if they say, I don't know if it's I don't know, because I don't have to manage. I would not want to run a show during the pandemic personally, because I wouldn't want to have to worry about that. But yeah, I think it's like either a percentage of capacity problem. I think it's something like that. Or depending on
guidelines keep changing. That's what I feel like.
They do.
I don't know. That's my issue. I mean, even at work for me, like if I'm a certain distance from somebody, I have to wear like those KN95 masks and then like a face shield, and it's like it's just a lot. I don't understand the virus anymore. This invisible threat that we have, but
the thing is, they're still learning. That's why they keep changing, because every time they learn something new, they have to be like, okay, now we recommend this. To me, I get that frustrates people, and I understand that the first instinct is to not trust it because it keeps changing. But for me, I take comfort in the fact that it keeps changing, because it means they're learning more things about it, and they're actually keeping us in the loop about, well, now we know this, so now this is what you should do. Because nobody's ever going to know everything there is to know about a new virus. That's why they have to like research it,
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It is super frustrating, just because you kind of look like, okay, well, you can have X amount of people in the market, and I know you have to go to the market, but then you can't have them in a restaurant or a concert. It's just where the lines are drawn. It's just confusing to me. That's all. I don't know. I know I'm a conspiracy theorist too. I like to watch those videos on YouTube for hours.
I mean, so here's the thing. I'm not like, I wouldn't call myself I don't go that hard for any of them, but I absolutely like, I'm not like I do I think the government is telling us everything? Absolutely not. Even when everything first happened, like the whole thing is, it's interesting with like the conspiracy thing, especially with this, because I feel like, again, it's like people have to go like one way or another, and it's like the virus doesn't have to be a hoax for there still to be a conspiracy. Like I feel like people are like, oh, it's not real. I'm like, well, it's real. Do I think that government is using it to their advantage to instill more fear than necessary? Absolutely. However, I do think we need to follow CDC guidelines, because it is killing people. So it's like one of those, like, I don't think you have to be one way or another, but I think as soon as people say conspiracy, or people, it's like, it's real. I'm like, well, it is real, but also like our government is like definitely they don't care about us. I do think medical professionals care about us.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree that it's definitely real, but they're using it like towards their advantage for sure.
Yeah. It's horrible. It's I mean, otherwise we would. I mean, the thing is, we knew it was a threat in January, but we didn't do anything about it. So here we are. In all of our masks.
But I like that people are embracing it though. Like people are like coordinating and masking their clothes and stuff. I know I'm doing it too, so I'm guilty of it just as much as everybody else. So
to me, it's one thing to do. I don't like stuff on my face. I don't like hats. I don't like glasses. I only wear sunglasses to prevent wrinkles. That's the only reason I wear them. And the sun hurts my eyes. But like, I don't like stuff on my face, so I don't like masks either. Like, but I wear it where I'm supposed to wear it.
Yeah, it's been weird. Like I was okay with it going to like, because I was, you go to like to market or something like that. Now, like I have to wear it all day. So I guess
that is,
I feel it still. Like, all right, when I don't have my glasses on, I still try to push my glasses up. Like that's what I mean. That feeling that gets there, and it's not. So I guess I'm getting used to it. It's weird. It's very weird.
That's fair. I don't have to really wear it all day. So I would probably be annoyed too if I had to.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
I want to like touch on some stuff because we're getting some good conversations, but I want to touch on like some of the stuff you do before we wrap it. Like I know, like going back to the podcast, because you have 2 of them, and you like break them down for the listeners too, just because I want to turn people on to your podcast. Definitely.
Yeah, no, I'm such a bad summary person because I tend to get lost in the details. That's the ADD talking. But so the Leak podcast, I co-host with Kat Mosley, and we've been doing that probably, I think, like close to a little over 2 years. So that kind of started. That's more of a comedy oriented podcast, although we talk about not necessarily politics, but like social justice issues, like race, sex, sexuality, etc. But also sort of like how that works into comedy, and we do a lot of talking about like this like need for people to be like kind of binary in their thinking about social issues. Like you're either this or you're that.
Yeah.
You're either like a monster or a hero. And sort of like where like we do a lot of dissecting and talking about intersectionality and then also comedy and how comedy is this other, like kind of this other realm, but that doesn't mean like, oh, it's okay to just be a piece of shit, so it's sort of like navigating, like it's like, how can we all like really do what we say we're trying to do, like being a good person, but also like understand reality. That again, it's hard for me to do a summary.
I mean, I could say you're doing a good job because I listened to that podcast, and that one, you guys have.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys have some pretty insightful conversations. I'm gonna have to get Kat on the show too, and talk to her.
Yeah, Kat.
She starts.
And that's what makes it easy, I think, is who you're. I mean, you have chemistry with who you're with. And the other podcast I did, like, it's like we started doing it in December, but then it sort of. I mean, it's and I do that with Ashley Weiler, who's one of my friends, like one of my oldest friends from high school. She never got into comedy. She's funny. But she's like, what, how like when you start comedy, your time gets really taken up. And she's like the one person who kind of like is like, she's probably like the one friend I still really have like consistently, who's still like in the area. And sort of like we're both the same age, and just like I have a kind of unconventional life that people don't understand, especially as a woman, and like she does, but not comedy related. So it's like it's kind of talking about that, like even though you can, no matter how old you get, you're like, oh, I'm comfortable with myself, but you still get weird pressures from society. It's called the other one is Hot Mistakes. So it's sort of like talking about like, oh, like the patterns like you keep repeating, even getting older, and like just like what conventional thinking kind of pushes on you to like get stuck in the same loop, even though you you know, even though you're growing and progressing, like sometimes you're not. Like I don't know how to, but a lot of it was like talking about like kind of shit show stuff we've done, but also like how we're growing up. But then the pandemic sort of put a weird twist on it, to be honest. Like so that was weird because we were still getting a feel for what we were doing, and then that, you know, that like changed the nature of everything, you know, like dating apps and stuff like that. So it's been, and we've still been recording, it's just it sort of it shifted the conversation. So, you know, it's been interesting, but we're still doing it.
I'm gonna have to check that one out. It sounds interesting. Yeah, I mean, do you think about?
It's fun. I mean, we have fun on it. We say like, because me and Ashley can just rattle off, you know, about whatever, because we've known each other for so long. So I think we crack each other up, and then people like laugh. Like, I don't know, we've had enough people laugh with us that they were like, you should do the podcast. So that's why we really did it, was that. But then we also were like, oh, we should have a theme, right?
Yeah. Well, sometimes you have these really good conversations with certain friends, and you're like, this should be a podcast, because you listen to your conversation, or you're like an hour in, and you're like, man, we're having a really good conversation. Somebody heard this, you know, discussing, and it becomes something worth listening to, believe it or not. Oh wait, we have no idea we're sitting on like money, I guess. I don't know. You ever
I've yet to make money. I know that's the thing. I can't do I'm so bad. Like, promo has always been my struggle. I try to use every platform I try to do, but it's like, for whatever reason, like I just have like that promo is difficult.
I'm holding on that eventually I'll make money. I think that's why I say that. You know, I've made about 28 cents off my podcast, so you know,
that's great.
I don't even know how that happened. I'm still trying to figure that out. I don't know. I don't know if I did some type of rebate or something on my podcast.
We did actually on both podcasts. I think we set it up so like it was linking in every of the iTunes thing. If it's because we use Buzzsprout.
Okay.
So if anybody uses our link for either podcast, like if any comics want to start a podcast and you use Buzzsprout, if you use our referral link, I think we get like $25 or something, and I think you get a discount for signing up. So FYI, if you want to follow either podcast, like we still have those set up, the referral links. If you want to make your own podcast.
Oh, that's dope. I mean, I use Anchor.
Throwing it out there.
See, there's so many little things you don't realize it's out there. So yeah, I mean, right now it's about consistency too. Just like, I guess the algorithms of just having something like constantly, like every week, like that's it. But so all right, before I let you go, one more last thing. I'm trying to remember things. I always forget. So we plugging anything else before? You got anything coming up? I know.
Just the Punchline 17th through the 20th, and then my next Zoom show, Come As You Are, it's going to be October 1st. So I had to move that around, but that'll be a really good lineup, really fun. And follow me here at Rachel Fogletto, Twitter, it's the same, www.rachelfogletto.com. You can click the thing to sign up for my email list thing, and visit my merch store, teespring.com/stores/Rachel-Fogletto, and that's where I sell stuff that says exceptional alcoholic on it, and I started making in the corner the clitoris or against us. They're tags for my jokes, so you can get a shirt that says that, and I'll probably add more merch. So check that out, and I'm probably gonna make a promo soon, like a promo discount code. So if you follow me on Instagram and TikTok, I'll talk about that stuff. Buy my shit.
Well, thank you again for taking out the time to talk to me. I could keep talking to you for a while. That's why I was like, all right, we got it.
Whatever time limit. I
try to keep the show under an hour, you know, but you know, sometimes like, you know, some of the conversations are just good, you know, so you just can't let it go. But everybody make some noise for Rachel Fogletto. Thank you so much.